All right, guys. So it is 9 o'clock. Thanks everyone for coming. I appreciate it. I know a lot of people weren't able to make it this specific team huddle just because it is like the long weekend, which I didn't even realize, but all the more power to them. And thank you for everybody who, made the commitment and made it on tonight. That's really, really, I don't know, that's just really cool to see as a leader and someone as part of this community. So I had like a million things that I wanted to come and talk about. But then I realized, guys, it's the end of the month. It's the end of the month. And I know that we've all been working diligently all month. Some of us have had success. Some of us are still working for that first success. And we're all just plugging away. We're doing the things. But I wanted to bring my favorite, well, he's a mentor of mine, but he's also a friend. And I wanted to bring him on to give us a little bit of, the end of the month vibe, end of the month love. He always just says something that inspires me, sparks me up, and gets me going. I swear, every time Kyle speaks on a call, and I don't want to jinx myself, but every time I go and I enroll like multiple people. So I hope that, you guys get as much from it as I usually do. Definitely take notes. We'll get you the replay, so definitely be in the moment and grab the value as he speaks it. But he's just kind of like a magical unicorn man. So Kyle, are you there?
I am. Sorry, I was like trying to wrap up this message from Trey, but there we go. I'm officially here. I'm super glad to be here, Brooklyn. I'm glad it worked out today. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last week, but I think today's even better, right? And I appreciate your kind words, and I love being here with you guys. Obviously, you guys know, anytime and if I'm free, I'm here. That's the one thing you guys can always count on is that, I talk about like, I don't know, I think it was just a conversation that you and I had, Brooklyn, where like my goal is to just be your guys' constant, your rock, and always be here for you no matter what, no matter what you need, whenever you need it. Granted, at 3 a.m. I'm probably sleeping, so I'm sorry. But realistically, my goal is to always just be here and help you guys and support you guys. And it's my honor to be able to do that. And I'm grateful to be able to do that. And I just love working with you guys. Brooklyn, you're an incredible individual, and I'm super proud of what you guys have been doing and what you're doing. Every one of you guys, I know most of you, but it's the end of the month. Holy smokes, and I was thinking about this, and I've told you guys this before, that I never prepare for anything. I don't care what it is. I used to, right? I used to like, I'd have a training or a call and I'd stress out like all day long, like preparing for what I was going to do, right? You're like, oh, I got this training, and you're like all worried about it. And I came to, I don't know, I just let it go. And anyway, so coming on here tonight, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. But there's a story. You guys know I like to tell stories, and it's an end of the month story. And I don't think any of you guys have actually heard this story. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But there was a point in my time, kind of like probably all of you, we've all quit, right? Have we all quit this business like 800 times? At least I have, right? I have quit network marketing more times than I can count or remember. But there was a real moment. My gosh, it was, let's see, October, November, December, January. It was January, so it's 4 months into my network marketing career, right? I've been at it so long already. But you guys know my story. I jumped in head first after making $500, and I quit the bands. I walked away from a 6-figure income playing drums, and I was 4 months into this deal, and I'm broke, and I'm mad, and I'm frustrated, and I don't understand why it's not going and it's not growing. And so I'm going to walk you guys through just the basics, right? This compensation plan, you guys have heard us talk, and even Trey talk about this company picked a fight with the FTC, right? And this is going to help you guys better understand that statement. I promise you there's a point to all this. But the compensation plan worked like this, like depending on what your rank was, right? And I was the second rank in the company. So every single time somebody joined my team, I made $100. Whether I sponsored them or you sponsored them, or Brooklyn, if I sponsored you and you sponsored John sponsored somebody, I made $100. Everybody that joined my team, I made $100. From 1 to 15 people. If you had 16 or more people join, they would double it. So they went from hundreds to 200s. So it was your first 15 people, you cross over to 16, now it doubles, right? So now you go, it's like a $1,600 pay increase, right? Like instantly for one person. So it's the last day of the month. It's January. It was January. And I remember sitting there and I was really trying to double, as we called it, right? Double. That was the big thing. If you doubled, you were a doubling regional or a doubling executive or a doubling national. And I was trying to double as a regional. It would have been my very first time. And I was sitting there at 12 enrollments. And I had 12 enrollments and it's the last day of the month and I'm mad, and $1,200 was not going to save my life. $1,200 wasn't enough to pay the electric bill probably that was already 3 months past due. You know what I mean? Like $1,200. Granted, I was grateful for it, but 4 more enrollments would have taken me over $3,000, which was life-changing at the moment. And it was $100 to get started, just to give you guys an idea. It was $100. And I was mad and I couldn't get it. And every single person I called, couldn't get them on the phone. I couldn't get anybody to do it. I came to the point where I was just like, all right, I'm going to tell people I'll pay for it. You know, like which I didn't have the money, but I was going to figure out how to like get the money and, you know, like I'll pay for you to get started because I wanted it to be a real person. And I couldn't do it. And I got mad and I for real, I just said, I'm done. Like, screw this. I quit. Like, I can't do this. I was stressed out. My team wasn't answering my phone calls, right? All like 12 of us on the team. Like, nobody's answering the phone. Nobody's doing anything, right? Have we ever been in those situations where nobody's doing anything? And my wife, she was pissed. She was mad. She was mad at me, and I could just tell. And she was just burning holes through me from the kitchen, you know. And she storms out, and I remember I heard her stomping over to the twins' room, and she comes back with my daughter Payson. And at the time, my daughter Payson was 2, like just now 2 years old. And she sits her down on my lap in the couch, and she said, "You look at your daughter and you tell her you quit." She said, "You tell her you're going back on the road. Tell her that you can't hack it to be around them." And I'll never forget to this day the look on my daughter's face. She had no idea what the heck was going on, right? Like, she's just like, "Hi, Dad." You know, she got a little binky in. But I remember her face because she knew this was serious, whatever was happening, you know? And I sat there for a second with my daughter on my lap. And I looked at my wife and I said, "You're right. I can't do it." And I think it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. Business closed at 9 o'clock, you know, West Coast time, right? So midnight Eastern Standard Time. And I closed the month with 18 people in my business. 18 people. So we ended up putting in 6 more people. I ended up making, you know, pretty good paycheck for the very first time. It was the very first paycheck I ever made in network marketing. That was over $500. First check with a comma. It was a monumental moment for me because I dug into my why. I dug into why I was doing this because I looked at my 2-year-old daughter and realized already how much I had missed, right? I can hear my other one running around who I missed her first birthday, all of her first steps. And, you know, I've got this happy household right now and I'm the one bringing it down because my attitude sucks because I can't build my business, because I'm mad because I can't get a couple more people to join. And I ended up in those last 3 hours personally enrolling 6 more people. And I never quit again because all the times that I wanted to quit, I think about my daughter and I think about why I do this business. And I think about what I would be giving up, right? It's not about the money. I care about the money. Of course, we all do, but it's not the money side of things. It's the freedom. It's the ability to be with my kids every day. I look at my kids now. My youngest is turning 11 years old in a week. My twins are almost 13. And my oldest is 17 and graduated high school last week. Talk about a punch in the gut to look at where I'm at, or which I'm grateful for, don't get me wrong, but punch in the gut to see my kids growing But I'm so grateful that 10 years ago, I looked in my daughter's eyes and didn't quit, because I was going to quit. Where would I be? Like, I would have missed everything. And I feel like even being home with my kids every single day, I still feel like I miss things. I still feel like I'm not with them enough. I still feel like I could give them more, which is crazy. But I think no matter what we do, right? When our business is blowing and going, it's not fast enough. When it's slow, you know, or you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You always want more, and you're always trying to go for more, and that's human and that's good. And it's because of that moment, guys, I won't give up, because I realized for real, I dug into my why, and I felt my why. Big difference, right? And it's one thing to say your why and know what it is, but it's another thing to feel it. And when you feel it, it changes the whole game. And, you know, I remember having a conversation with my upline at the time. And after I did it, he goes, well, what happened? And I told him what happened. And he goes, well, how'd you do it? I said, I don't know. And he goes, you were the rattlesnake. And I was like, what are you talking about? You guys have heard me say this. If you back a rattlesnake into a corner, you're going to get bit. And he's like, you were the rattlesnake. You got backed into a corner. And I thought about it, and he was right. And, you know, and really, I don't know what changed. I can't tell you. Could not tell you what changed in those 3 hours, guys, besides probably my posture and my confidence and my take no prisoners attitude. And I shifted into a mindset of as a matter of fact, right? Like, that's a big thing that I've learned, guys, is speaking in a way, no matter where you are, no matter what your level of success is, no matter where you are with your business, is speaking in as a matter of fact. Right? It's a big difference in saying, you know, this business is pretty cool, and, you know, like, wishy-washy and maybe uncertain about it. But when you speak as a matter of fact, this is a great business, right? I know you haven't heard about it yet because it's new. Yeah, I'm not worried about that it's being a new company. You know, no, this company is on fire. You know, we are more than overcapitalized. We're growing. We're blah, blah. You know what I mean? When you're presenting your facts as a matter of fact, all that does is increase your posture, right? And you probably even heard that just now. I went from kind of talking to, when I get into my posture and my zone and who I am, I elevate my voice. I start talking faster, not intentionally. It's just what happens, right? Because I become more confident. When I'm confident in what I'm saying, changes everything. So, Brooklyn, I know that is nothing what you wanted to talk about tonight, but I thought about that story right about 5 minutes before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to share this story because the story changed my life. But at the end of the month, guys, you know, I was actually on a conversation or on a phone call about an hour ago with somebody, and she was like mapping out, like telling me her plans. And she's like, you know, I think I'm going to be able to do this and this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's a really good plan. And I'm like, God, we need more time. And then I looked at a calendar and I'm like, holy smokes, we have 7 full days. what am I talking about? That's enough to do like more volume than the company's done all month in the next 7 days, because it's the end of the month, you know. And I know it's a holiday weekend, and people are asking, are you still doing your training tomorrow? It's a holiday. I'm like, yeah, it's on Monday. I don't care where you are, and whatever. Like, we're blowing and going. We got a week left to build this business, and we're not stopping at anything. But, you know, another thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is, and I talk about this all the time. You know, you're gonna find patterns, because I talk about what I know works, and the things that have changed my business month over month over month, year after year. Especially when we're talking about the end of the month, right? Like, we're gonna hype up the end of the month. We're gonna talk about getting busy, and this is obviously where we know probably 85% of our volume, personal volume, company volume, everything happens in the last week, right? Primarily it happens in the last 72 hours, you know, and most people it happens in the last 18 minutes. You know, they couldn't enroll anybody all month long, and then they enroll 75 people in the last 18 minutes of the company. Like, it's mind blowing to me how this works, but it will never change. It's just what we do. But I talk about the power of one, you know, and the power of one is probably my favorite thing on the planet. Because most people don't wrap their head around how simple the power of one is, but how powerful that is, and how much that can like dramatically shift your business. The power of one, right? It's just like people, they want to complicate certain things like the play. Does everybody realize if everybody just went and got 3 people, you guys would all be diamonds? It's that simple. Like, if everybody just got 3 people and followed the play, everybody would be a diamond. Seriously, that's not a joke. Like, if everybody just went and got 3 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 and got 3, and everybody followed that simple system, everybody's a diamond. Everybody's making 6 figures a year. And it's crazy. So anyway, power of one. What is the power of one? You guys, the power of one can double the size of your team tonight. How many people are on your team? Well, let's just call it 10. Cool. If we could all come together with one common goal for today, not tomorrow, not Tuesday, Wednesday, not the week, today. 10 people on your team, and you came together and said, come hell or high water, by close of business tonight, when I lay my head down, I will have enrolled one new person. That's it. One new person. If you came together collectively and just said, I will enroll one more person today. And you did this as a group, 10, think about this. If you have 10 people and you guys all committed to that, before you laid your head down on your pillow tonight, I will enroll one. You wake up tomorrow with 20 people on your team. And if you came together again and said, you know what, before I go to bed tonight, no matter what, I'm going to enroll one more person. Together, the power of one, we were going to do this. And you all went out and enrolled one. Now you went to 40 people. Now you're halfway to Sapphire in 2 days. Guys, the power of one can change this immediately. Brooklyn's team, if everybody, I mean, and for real, like obviously this is a perfect world scenario. If Brooklyn's team all went out and got one, Brooklyn would be a double diamond right now. That quick. I'm not like putting Brooklyn on a pedestal. I'm just saying, like, as a whole, this is what I'm talking about, guys. The power of one can change everything for you. But it starts with you. It starts with you, right? Like, I could have given up that last day of the month. I needed 4 people. Not 1, but 4. I needed 4. But I could have given up and I was going to walk away, and I ended up overshooting it. But I drew a line in the sand and said, you know what? No, I'm not going to quit. No, I'm not going to go back on the road. No, I am going to make this work no matter what. And I made it work. Something as simple as the power of one. You rally around your team. Everybody gets together and says, you know what? This crazy dude might have something here. Like, this might be an idea we should actually maybe pay attention to. Guys, no matter what it is, whether, I mean, even if it's a promo $199 pack, granted, you're not going to hear me promote that because I think it's a very, very, very last resort. But even if it boils down to enrolling one new person on a $199 pack, you just added one new person to your business that could add the next so-and-so, the next, or could be, quite frankly, the next diamond in the company, or the next emerald, or the next sapphire, or the next rock star. You don't know. But you'll never know if you don't put that person in. And my goal for all of you guys is to take the power of one and say, all right, for the next 7 days, I am going to wake up and commit to the power of one. I'm not asking you to rally around your team. I'm not asking you to rally around Brooklyn's team. I'm asking you to rally around my team. And my team is the company, right? Let's rally around together as a whole. All of us, me included. Why? Because I have been on a dry spell with recruiting. I'm not afraid to admit that. I haven't put anybody in all month long. I only put in one person last month. Look at that. Talk about transparency, right? It's just the truth. We all go through spells. I get it, right? It happens. Let's do this together. Why not? What do you have to lose? Wake up and commit and say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to take him up on his challenge. Let's one a day. Every single day, wake up with the mentality, the power of one, the power of one, the power of one. Share it with your teams. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't on here tonight because of the holiday. I get that. But reach out to your team. Say, hey, listen, I'm going to commit to the power of one because I want to double the size of our team. I want to double your business. I want to help you get to where you want to go. And if we rally around this power of one, this crazy drummer guy says, you know, 2 becomes 4, and then 4 becomes 8, and then 8 becomes 16, and 16 becomes 32. And then before you know it, 32 becomes 150, and 150 becomes 500. Because we start doing something so simple as the power of one. One day at a time, one person at a time. Don't focus on, okay, I need to go manager. Yes, you need to go manager, right? But let's take it in small bites. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, right? Well, you need 3 people to follow the play and run and become a manager, right? And become a manager making factory where it's all in threes. It's in threes, but it starts with 1. So why don't we just start with 1, right? Let's just start with 1. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fired up to go like the power of one tonight before I lay my head down. And I'm seriously going to do it because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I need to go recruit somebody. This is nuts. So I'm committing myself right now to the power of one. And I'm going to do it tonight. And then I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to do it again. And then I'm going to do it again on Tuesday. And then I'm going to do it again on Wednesday. And you know what? If I miss my goal, it's okay. At least I tried. But you know what? I will refuse to lay down until I've given it every single thing I have to put one more person in this business. One more person. It's one more person I can help. One more person's life I can change. And I want you guys to do the same. I would love it for you guys to do the same for you. For you. What's one new person do for your team? Could be everything. It could be your first person. One new person could be the next person that blows your business up. You know, Trey always used to say you're one person away from an explosion, and it's such the truth. Such the truth. Because I was so I was in this company for a while. This was back in 2015. And I enrolled this guy who really, I love him very dearly. Like, he's a great guy. Can't build his way out of a paper bag, but he is just a great friend of mine, right? I just love him. He's got a heart of gold in network marketing. And he's one of those people. Does anybody know those people that are like, you know, further in their life, I guess you could say? Like, to give you an idea, he's in his mid 50s at the time, but still goes to school. Like, he's still going to college. He's got like 35 degrees. Like, he's always in school. He's never not in college getting a new degree. Anyway, and he enrolls this kid. He was able to get this kid to join. And I say kid, he was early 20s. He joined in our business. And this guy happened to have a friend who worked at this mall, this Vietnamese mall, shopping mall. Like, so we have like this Vietnamese community not too far from here. And this kid enrolls this friend of his who ends up talking to the owner of the mall, owns the whole shopping mall. And that guy enrolls. So my guy enrolls this kid who enrolls his friend who owns a shopping mall, who happened to be best friends with the wife of a master distributor of another company. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people away from people just enrolling one. Enrolled the master distributor of a company, put 350 people in my business in the next week after that guy enrolled. Changed my business instantly. Because I enrolled one guy that knew one guy that knew one guy. And this all happened within a matter of a couple of days. Nobody was doing anything crazy. There's one guy enrolled one guy who enrolled one guy who, boom, 350 people joined my business in a week. Can't make that up. No influence, no connection, had nothing to do with me. It's just every dud leads to a stud. Right? There's that old saying. But it was, I can't express to you the validity of saying you're one person away from an explosion. If I wouldn't have enrolled my buddy Craig, right? And I love this guy, but I'm like, do I really want to enroll him again? Because he was asking, and I'm like, I just kind of feel bad. Like, I don't want it. Like, I don't want him to fail again. You know, it's kind of one of those things. Like, no matter how much I help him, and no matter how much I coach him, like, he just doesn't listen to a word I tell him. So he always ends up just doing his own thing and never making any money. Poor guy. God love him, right? But he's like, dude, come on. You know, I'll listen this time. I'll be coachable. Okay. All right, Craig. Sign him up. And then look what happens. Because he got one guy that changed his life forever. My buddy Craig ended up going diamond in that company, which in that company is $1 million a year position, just to give you guys an idea. Like, kind of crazy because he knew one guy. So again, guys, I'm going to kind of bring this home and I'll hand it back to you, Brooklyn, but dig down and find your why. Remember why you're doing this thing for real, but feel it, right? Feel why you're doing it, not just say it, not just look at the notepad. I'm doing this because, you know, like really, right? Really, if you're one of those people that writes down things like I do, I write down everything, right? And you write down your why, and you have like maybe like a mission statement or something. I want you to add so that. Write down your why. You know, I want to do this business because I want to be home more with my kids. So that what? Well, so that, you know, I can grow up with them and never miss a thing. So that what? Take it down. 3 so that's. Get to the root of your why. Really dive in there where you really, really, really feel why you're doing this. And say, okay, you know what? I do know why I'm doing this. I don't care if it is, I want a purple Lamborghini so that, like, I don't care what it is. I just really want you to feel it and understand it. And when you get there, say, all right, I've got 7 days, 7 full days to go change my life and my business. And in the process of me doing that, if I change my business, that means I'm going to help some other people that join me change their lives and get their business started. But it also means that I'm going to help, the person that brought me in, I'm going to help change their life. And whoever brought them in, it's going to help change their life. We're going to change a lot of lives. I've got 7 days to do that. And I've got a really big reason why I'm doing it. What's going to stop me? How do I go do it? What did that crazy kid say? What did that tattooed drummer say? Power of one. That's right. I want you to think about the power of one, and I want you to commit to it. And ask yourselves for one time, just don't quit on yourself, right? Don't quit on yourself with one simple goal. You only have one job every day for the next 7 days. I don't want you to think about anything else. I want you to forget about ranks. I want you to forget about how much it's going to take you to get there, or how much it's going to take you to get here, or, oh, I need so much volume in this leg in order to balance out. Forget all of that nonsense. Just forget it for a minute. And say, my job for the next 7 days is I'm going to bring in one new person a day, no matter what it is. The power of one, guys, will change everything for you. So Brooklyn, I'm going to hand it back over to you. It's all you. Thanks for letting me talk. I hope that was okay. I just rambled. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, I have chills. I think everyone could agree that I have chills. And I didn't have anything, necessarily specific for you to talk about, but if there was a concept in the back of my brain, that was it right there. So thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
Like, if we all just commit and we do that and we forget about the nonsense and the details and the data and all that kind of stuff, we just go do what we do best and share this with, as many people as we need to have one new person a day. Like, I've seen it go. So I'm committed. I don't know if y'all are committed. You can raise your hand, behind the screen or whatever, but let's go make it happen. We'll get you the recording for this, and I'm sure that this particular call is going to be played more than once. I know that it's going to be what I default to when I need to kick in the pants, because I got a reminder this morning about how freaking miserable I used to be at my 9 to 5, and it equated to something from my childhood, and it went back, and so I got my so what. And it's not something that I'm willing to settle on. So you guys do the work if you need to, write it down, but get in that space where it's like, I'm focused, it's go time. So with that being said, you can literally do that tonight. You can literally go get your power of one tonight. We have time. I know it's much earlier on where I came from on the Pacific side, but let's just make it happen and commit to yourself. That one goal, like Kyle said, there's nothing else that really matters right now.
That's right. I'm not adding to it. It's all you. Hashtag power of one. Let's go do it.
I saw you nodding, and then I saw you on mute. So, all right, guys, rock on. Have an amazing night. We're here if you need help.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.